Stefanski hasn't done a good enough job. And we talked about this last week. And we talked about it 2 weeks ago. And we talked about, this is week 5, right? We talked about it 3 weeks ago, and 4 weeks ago, and 5 weeks ago. When Kevin Stefanski's been the Browns play caller, they can't score 20 points. It's over the last 2 years has been the Browns quarterback. They can't score 20 points. And we can argue it's the line's fault. It's the quarterback's fault. It's the receiver's fault. It's the running back's fault. They don't have the common denominator between it all is Kevin Stefanski.
Breaking news out of Cleveland, where the Browns have suffered yet another heartbreaking loss, this time to the Minnesota Vikings. But this one feels different. It's not the usual quarterback struggles we've seen in past games. Dillon Gabriel stepped up today, delivering 2 incredible touchdowns and putting the Browns in a strong lead. But somehow, that lead evaporated. The defense once again couldn't stop the Vikings, and all of Cleveland's hopes crumbled in the final moments. Now, fans are starting to ask, what's going on with the coaching? Kevin Stefanski is under fire as critics point to his questionable play calls and lack of adjustments when it mattered most. Is it the coaching, or is it the defense? Or maybe both? The frustration is palpable, and voices are getting louder as more and more fans are calling for change. Cleveland's got a lot to figure out, and with the season slipping away, it's clear that something has to give. Stay tuned as we break down the key moments of this game and dive into the growing concerns around Stefanski's play calling.
Fake to Judkins, Gabriel.
Unlike their previous losses, the Browns came out strong in this game. Dillon Gabriel made an impressive start, scoring his first touchdown in the opening quarter, giving the team an early lead. For a moment, it looked like everything was falling into place for Cleveland, and fans were hopeful that this game would finally go their way. But unfortunately, that momentum didn't last, and the Browns couldn't maintain control until the final whistle. Even in the third quarter, Dillon Gabriel continued to shine, adding his second touchdown of the game. At that point, it still looked like the Browns were on track for a victory. Gabriel delivered a perfect throw to David Njoku, who made an impressive catch, further fueling the belief that Cleveland was in control and headed toward a win.
Wide to the left on third down. To the end zone, it is caught, Njoku!
However, all of that momentum quickly faded as the game took a turn. Dillon Gabriel began missing his targets, and the defense couldn't hold up, struggling to contain the Vikings. The shift in play calling, attributed to Stefanski, seemed to throw the Browns off track, leaving them disoriented and unable to recover. By the time the Vikings made their game-winning touchdown, it was clear that Cleveland had lost control of the game.
To see if he could launch it 60 yards to the end zone right here in the air.
Can't.
Or do you take one quick shot and then...
No.
As soon as the game ended, analysts and experts quickly weighed in, and the consensus was clear. Stefanski is to blame for the loss.
Stefanski hasn't done a good enough job. And we talked about this last week. And we talked about it 2 weeks ago. And we talked about, this is week 5, right? We talked about it 3 weeks ago, and 4 weeks ago, and 5 weeks ago. When Kevin Stefanski's been the Browns play caller, they can't score 20 points.
Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski addressed the media during the post-game press conference. Instead of providing any real explanation for why his system collapsed, he deflected, stating that it was a collective mistake and that the team would work to rectify the issue moving forward. Of course, this sounded all too familiar. Just another attempt to spin the narrative and avoid taking responsibility. As always, he stuck to his usual script, offering vague promises of improvement without addressing the core problems that fans and experts alike have been pointing out. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
We need to do a better job closing out, and that's an offensive thing, defense, special teams, coaches, players, you name it. We got to come away and be at our best in those moments, and we were not. And that's the disappointing, frustrating part for me. But we'll keep grinding. We'll get back and get back to work.
Browns insider Darrell Butler quickly weighed in with his own take, and he didn't hold back. He pointed to the fourth quarter as a glaring example of how poorly the coaching staff managed the game. Butler firmly placed the blame on the entire coaching staff, highlighting that while some might try to defend Denzel Ward's play on third down, the real issue was Stefanski's lack of proper play calling. According to Butler, that moment, like many others throughout the game, could be traced back to poor decisions from the head coach. In his eyes, this loss is undeniably on Stefanski.
Fourth quarter, Andy, in which the Browns picked up one first down the entire quarter, just one. This one falls on Kevin Stefanski. I know you can blame Denzel Ward or Jim Schwartz for that defensive breakdown on the winning touchdown there, but this one's on Kevin Stefanski.
Others also criticized Stefanski's decision to make Joe Flacco the backup quarterback instead of Shedeur Sanders. It became clear during the game that Dillon Gabriel was fatigued and struggling, and many felt that bringing in Shedeur could have injected some much-needed energy into the offense. Instead, Stefanski opted for Flacco, who had already proven to be one of the weakest options. That choice, many argued, only highlighted the coaching missteps that ultimately cost the Browns in the crucial moments of the game.
Joe Flacco, can't get it done anymore. So bring Shedeur Sanders up with the young kid, the lefty, and now you're first.
Rex Ryan also joined the conversation, criticizing Stefanski for not having Shedeur Sanders available when Dillon Gabriel began to show signs of fatigue. Ryan believes Sanders could have made a significant impact on the game at that point. He even went as far as to question Stefanski's decision to have Joe Flacco as the backup instead of Sanders, arguing that it was a missed opportunity to have two young quarterbacks on the roster. According to Ryan, having Sanders ready to step in could have changed the course of the game when Gabriel was struggling. Rex Ryan emphasized that the Browns' main priority should be to give young quarterbacks a chance to prove if they can become the future leaders of the team.
And make no mistake, Alex, we talked about this yesterday. You said there's 2 first-round picks that they have next year, right?
Yep.
So this is about, let's see what we have. Are one of these guys going to be our quarterback moving forward?
Right.
And to me, look, I was saying something about Shedeur Sanders. And to me, I just know this kid has so much ability.
In this game, Dillon Gabriel proved that he has what it takes to lead the Browns' offense. He came out strong, making 2 impressive touchdowns, showing his potential as a dynamic playmaker. Gabriel's performance, especially his first-quarter touchdown and the perfect throw to David Njoku in the third, showed that with the right support and a well-structured game plan, he can shine. However, his efforts were ultimately undermined by poor coaching decisions that left him exposed and fatigued without proper adjustments being made. Had Kevin Stefanski called a more balanced and thoughtful game, the outcome could have been vastly different. The Browns had the lead multiple times, and with the right play calling, they could have easily sealed the victory. Unfortunately, Stefanski's failure to adapt and his questionable decisions, such as choosing Joe Flacco as the backup over Shedeur Sanders, proved costly. Gabriel was clearly wearing down, and the inability to inject fresh energy into the game with Sanders, a young quarterback with plenty of potential, was a missed opportunity. Shedeur Sanders deserves a shot to prove himself, especially with the struggles at the backup quarterback position. The Browns have to think about the future, and Sanders could be a key part of that. His skill set could offer a different dynamic when needed, providing the team with another weapon to rotate in during crucial moments. As Rex Ryan pointed out, giving Sanders the chance to show what he can do isn't just about the present. It's about securing the team's future leadership. If the Browns are serious about contending and developing talent, it's time to give Shedeur Sanders that chance to step up. What do you think, Browns fans? Was Stefanski's play calling the real reason this game slipped away, despite Dillon Gabriel's impressive performance? Should he have made better adjustments when Gabriel started to tire? Or was the defense ultimately the bigger issue? Could Sanders have changed the game if given the opportunity? Or is it too soon to make that call? Let us know your thoughts and keep the discussion going.